Shalom and welcome to another installment of Elders of GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Today's topic is going to be entitled Understanding 2nd Esdras, the 14th chapter. But before we go into that, I was watching a video that Nate Satan had made, and he was calling the name of it. I mean, if you go to is the video up there? Click on. All right, let me. Don't worry about it. You know what? Speak for a minute.
Right. So basically, Nate, he's at it again. I mean, he was going into some information on America being this particular kingdom. Which he was right on that, but he goes off like always. So Elder Tar happened to catch it, so he's gonna go and fix up Nate's shoddy work. And you brothers out there, that's in the different GMS camps. If you're not sure, when you're going through the scriptures, if you're not sure about something, don't just wing it, man. If you're not sure, make sure you ask one of the elders, or, have somebody break it down for you. Because some of you brothers, too, be kind of butchering certain things, too.
Yeah, you guys out there in GMS, that's why a lot of guys are falling off and getting kicked out. Because you getting beside yourself. You going in the scriptures that you don't know the breakdowns of, and you thinking that you're deep, where you're not deep, all right? Because if you was deep, you would have got the scriptures right. That's the main reason why we're going through this breakdown of 2nd Esdras, the 14th chapter. But I was watching a video with Nate. What's the title of that video?
The Israelites' Independence Day are blacks, Hispanics, and native.
Yeah, it was put up about a week ago. And he had said something going into about maybe like 20 minutes in, maybe 18 minutes in. And we're gonna actually show it. I just filmed it with another camera, and I'm gonna set this thing up right quick, and I'm just gonna let you see it. It's about 2 minutes long, and then we're gonna go into it.
Yeah, the full title is Independence Day are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans really free in America. Independence Day are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans really free in America. I mean, it's such a basic topic,
Well, anyway, we're going to set this up, bring it back.
Con. So, yeah, so basically, we're going to go through it. And like I said, you always got to go back and fix Nate's shoddy work.
But the thing is, it's a basic topic,
Right.
It's a basic topic.
Right. So,
that's as deep as our boy gets.
Yep, that's it. We're going to cue everything up, and, we're going to show you the video right now. And then we're gonna come back and fix it the right way, the way the white men don't want you to fix it.
The lion, then the bear was the Persians and the Medes. The Greeks had the leopard. Then it mentions the fourth beast, and it doesn't describe what that fourth beast looks like. But here in Esdras, God tells you what that fourth beast is. Watch. Everybody got an apocrypha? You got an apocrypha? You two brothers right there. I need y'all to read along. Come on, I tell you.
2nd Esdras 11 verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, that had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
So this fourth beast, and this he didn't describe it yet. Let me jump ahead. Go to chapter 12. Go to the next one. I asked Ithon, was this the one I want? He said, yeah, this ain't it. 12, 10 to 13 is what I want. Then we're going to come back to this.
That was a nugget there.
It is a nugget. We're going to hit it. 2nd Esdras. I need y'all to, you got to know the thoughts I'm thinking, like Professor X. 12, verse 10 to 13. 2nd Esdras 12, 10 to 13. Watch this.
Verse 10. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
There you go. There you go. What is the symbol of America? So there's no if. I'm just confused. You're not confused. Check out, if you don't know what America's symbol is, take out a dollar bill. The bald eagle is the symbol of this country.
What? Did y'all catch that nugget? Hell yeah. I can't hear you. Did y'all catch that nugget? All right.
Read that again.
The eagle, whom thou sawest come up from the sea, is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto thee.
So the angel says, the Lord didn't explain that fourth beast to Daniel. He said, but I'm going to tell you, now's the time to tell you what it's about. Read the next verse.
Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
Do y'all see this?
Yes.
Believe it or not, America is the most feared kingdom on the planet. Whatever America says, the nations obey. They are scared of this place. America's the nation that goes into the United Nations. The UN says, don't do this or do that. America says, watch what we do. And they're going to do what they want to do.
Have them read it again. I want everybody's eyes in the book.
Right. Look at the symbol in case y'all didn't know. It's telling you right there.
Oh, wait, stop. You new brothers, I want y'all to read along. That's why I'm having them read it again.
Verse 11.
I want y'all to see the words in the book.
The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto thee. Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
Right. Do y'all see that? So now, where we started originally is chapter 11 and verse 40. I wanted y'all to see this because he jumps back and forth. Chapter 11, verse 40. About this eagle. This is the land of the free, home of the brave.
Oh, I thought you were home of the slave.
Home of the slave, yeah. 11 and 40.
And the fourth king, and overcame.
Notice it says, and the fourth king. He's still making reference to Daniel 7. Remember the fourth beast? That now we know the symbol is what? Eagle. The eagle. Read verse 40 again.
And the fourth came, and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
With what?
With deceit.
So he's dwelling here with much wicked oppression and dwelling with deceit. A lot of y'all think that America is the most truthful society, that they will tell you the truth. How come they ain't told us our nationality?
That's right.
Who are we as a people?
Okay, speak for a minute.
Right. So now, we're going to go through it, because, it is dealing with America, but there's other, ultimately it's dealing with America, because if you know the prophecies, you know that from the Roman Empire, America came out of that empire, and you know that it was prophesied that at one point the Roman Empire was going to fall, but it was going to rise up again in the future. So you have to know how to differentiate within the different time periods when it's referring to America, when it's referring to the ancient Roman Empire.
Like the scriptures say, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Right.
The key word there is rightly.
Yeah, so you have to know, because when you read the scriptures, the scriptures are like that. They jump from one time period to another.
Yep.
They jump from one topic to another. So you have to know when it's dealing with one subject, when it's dealing with the other subject.
Yeah, that's why it says precept upon precept. Because just like you said, the scripture does jump from one period of time to another.
Yeah, that's why we're going to go, before we go into that, we're going to go to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter.
This is the book of Ezekiel 3 and 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And you got to eat the whole roll, not just a part of it. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But
so, in other words, you got to digest, you got to get the whole word, you got to digest it, meaning you got to understand it, and then you can go out and teach. See, Nate doesn't have any business teaching, man. He's going off again. He went off on that, talking about that fourth beast is talking about America. Ultimately in the 11th chapter, it refers to America, but in the 12th chapter of Second Esdras, from the 10th verse to the 13th verse, I believe you read, it's talking about the Roman Empire. So like I said, I wasn't thinking about getting all into his business today, but he messed up. So we got to come back and we got to be the watchers over y'all, man, to make sure y'all get it right, because he deceives you.
I got a precept for you.
Oh, but let me read this here. This is 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, and the 13th verse on down. It says, "But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived." And that's what he's doing. That's why he's not teaching them. If he was really about teaching the word of the Most High, he would teach the name. And he'll say, "Well, look, that's not in the scriptures." You know? Yeah, but the Most High through the Spirit gave you his name. That's in St. John the 17th chapter, how the Lord left his name to his disciples. So if you are a disciple, you would know his name.
Yeah, the Lord said the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So
that's right.
If we never ran into the Lord's name, I guess that means we're not righteous.
That's right. Now, 14th verse. "But continue thou in the things which thou hast learnt," because the stuff that he's teaching is stuff that he learned from One West. The breakdown of the 12 tribes. Do you think he actually figured that thing out? No. He was taught it at the old school. Everything he teaches you, he was taught it at the old school, but there's certain things he goes off on. It says, "But continue thou in the things which thou hast learnt and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learnt them." So those guys that taught you. But he never gives it, he has never mentioned once in recent years, he has never mentioned One West. My true teachers are from One West, Ariah. He went into the 12 tribe breakdown. Here's a picture of Ariah. Here's a video of Ariah. This is Marshall. This is how the split came about. He never mentioned Yaikwab. Now he might dig up something. Yeah, I mentioned it 5 years ago. Yeah, but you ain't proud of that. And like I said, we watch your videos just like you watch our videos, and you don't give props to your teachers, but you're teaching like you went into the scriptures yourself, and the Most High was guiding you, man. You're nothing but a glorified mockingbird.
That's right. Even Paul gave mentioned his teacher, Gamaliel.
That's right.
As great as Paul was.
Okay, it says here in the 15th verse, "And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith." Like he referred to, he coined his phrase, faith-based Israelites, which is in not Christ Jesus, but Yahweh Shai. And the Christ in the Hebrew is Mashiach, which means the anointed or the Messiah. 16th verse. It says, "All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof," to correct somebody, which we're correcting you, for correction, to correct you. Reproof means to get on somebody. Correction means to simply correct somebody. For instruction in righteousness, that the man of the Most High may be perfect. What does the word perfect mean? You got to have it perfect. If you're claiming that you're a teacher of the Most High, you're supposed to tell the people we got 100% information. You guys got a problem with that. It says that the man of the Most High may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. All right?
Yeah, I looked up that Greek word perfect. It's artios in the Greek, and it says complete. So to back up what Elder Tahar says, you have to be complete, you know. Hey, even a good example of that is the law. When you read the law, it's always repetitious. You know why? Because that's the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, given the complete understanding. You know, that's why he goes over it over and over again. That's why it's repetitious.
That's right. Now let's go from there to let's go to Second Ezra, Esdras, the 12th chapter. Let's go right to that point, and then we may go to 10 on down to 13 or 14, and then we're gonna most likely go to we might go to the chapter over, which is 11, but it pretty much runs into the same thing, because chapter 11, Esdras got the vision, and chapter 12 was the interpretation of the vision. All right, so we might also go to Daniel, the 7th chapter as well. So let's read that.
All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 12, verse 10. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Now let's go to the vision of Esdras' brother Daniel.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings.
That's the Babylonians.
I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
That's Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. Go ahead.
And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear. And it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
That's the Medo-Persian Empire. It came up first as the Medes and the Persians got power over the Medes later in that history, in that reign. And it said, rise and devour much flesh. Now, they showed you that, a sampling of that in the movie 300, when King Leonidas was fighting against Xerxes. What was his other name? He was known as? But he was known as something else besides Artaxerxes. The 4th king shall be richer than them all. Was that? No. The 4th king that shall be richer than them all.
Not Kodomanes, right?
I mean, we went through this in Daniel 11 chapter, but I'll look it up and give you the other name. But his main name, I believe, was Darius the First. Ahasuerus was one name, but I believe he had another name. I could be wrong. But his name that's known in history is Xerxes, and in the movie, Xerxes the First. And in the movie, he was called Xerxes. So that was the 4th king that were richer than the other 3 before him. And he was a Persian. That's when the Persians were in power. All right? Because after the end of him, that's when Alexander the Creep came on the scene. Because during the time of King Leonidas, that was just a foothold into breaking down Xerxes' kingdom, which his kingdom went down based upon prophecy. What I meant to say was Xerxes the First. All right? You go ahead.
Yeah, pursuant to Wikipedia, it also says here Xerxes the Great. which was, like you said, the fourth king of kings of Persia.
Right, he was also known as Assuerus.
Yeah, Assuerus, yeah.
Yeah, well, you go into the story of Mordecai and Esther. You know, he lived during that. He lived during that time period, and that was that king. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It says, verse 6, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible.
That other beast that you just read about, read that again. That's Alexander the Greek.
After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Yeah, the 4 heads represent the 4 rulers that came out of that ruled underneath Alexander. Go ahead.
After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Right. Ultimately, it's talking about America. But when that 4th beast came on the scene, it came on the scene after the downfall of the Greeks.
That's right. That's right.
So that was the Roman Empire.
Right.
So now when you go back to the Apocrypha and read what you just read in the 12th chapter.
All right, 2nd Esdras 12 and 10. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Yeah, and we just read that in Daniel the 7th chapter. And that was the Roman Empire.
Right.
So he should have explained that was talking about the Roman Empire.
That's right.
Because he kept hopping on the fact that it was the eagle. Well, when you go back to the history of Rome, the Roman Empire, what symbol did it carry around?
The eagle.
The eagle.
Yeah, they even made a movie called The Eagle.
Right.
It says, the eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto thee. Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
Now remember, this is Esdras, and this was about 500 years before the birth of the Lord. So when the Roman Empire came on the scene, it was about 450 years around that time when the Roman Empire came into power. So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about approximately 500 years in the future. Go ahead.
In the same shall 12 kings reign.
Yeah, because let's go to the United States. How many kings reigned? How many kings reigned in which are presidents?
That's
Were there
right.
12?
No.
Were there 12?
No, there was more.
There was more. The current president that's in office today is what is that? The 44th president, the 44th president, man. So that's not talking about America. Ultimately, America came out of the Roman Empire. In other words, the system, like in Rome, you have a Senate. All right, you have the plebeians and the patricians, which today you have the Democrats and the Republicans. The plebeians represented in today's system of America, that would be the Democrats, the liberals, the lower classes. The patricians, what's the word patrician come from fathers, going back to the Republicans, because they like to use that term patriot, father. So back then, the Republicans today, back then, they were known as, like I said, the patricians. The the Democrats back then were known as the plebeians. And the word plebeians, look it up, it stemmed from the word people. Like you have a place in Colorado called Pueblo, Colorado. Pueblo, Colorado, if I'm saying it right. And the word Pueblo, excuse me, is a tongue twister to me. It means people. It's Spanish for people, all right?
I got something to back you up.
Go ahead.
This is from Wikipedia, and I just typed up 12 Caesars. It says the 12 Caesars is considered very significant in antiquity and remains a primary here's a tongue twister, and remains a primary source on Roman history. Now
that's right. There was 12 major Caesars.
That's
then
right.
there were other inferior Caesars.
That's right.
All right?
They also
Under feathers, yep.
They also give you the names of the 12 Caesars. If I may, I'll read it for you. Julius Caesar, Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian.
Those are the main ones, all right? All right, go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
And that's America. So you basically, you just jumped over history, man. What about the Roman Empire? Now let's go back and read that again in 2nd Esdras.
2nd Esdras chapter 12, verse 14. In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another, whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12.
Now what is that? If that's talking about America, then who is that second that shall reign more time than all the rest? What's that talking about, Nate?
That's FDR, brother.
Yeah, that's FDR. It's got to be FDR. Yep. Yeah, that's FDR. It ain't FDR. I ain't going to tell you who it is.
That's right.
I'll just throw it at you so you can make a counter to this video and tell me who it is.
Which you ain't going to do.
And then once you tell me who it is, then you know that it's talking about the Roman Empire. The pagan, ancient Roman Empire. All right?
Damn.
And this goes out to you brothers, brothers out there in GMS. Y'all should know.
Right.
Y'all should know the answer to that question about who's the guy to read again.
Whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12.
And then Gabar gave you the answer.
Yeah.
We just gave you the answer.
Yeah. I didn't mean to.
And it's not FDR. It's not FDR. I wasn't talking about FDR. It wasn't talking about America, all right? Because wait a minute. Hold up. It said there was 12 of them, right? Put in FDR, man. Let's see what he had to be the second. He was the second president after George Washington, right? Let's see what lineup was he?
Yeah, I'm going to it now.
Nate, I wasn't even thinking about you, man. I was watching your video and whatnot, and then that record,
Like the record,
the needle fell off the record when I heard that. I said, what? I said, let me go back. I said, this guy's going off again, man.
Don't look too good for Nate. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the year January 30th, 1882 to April 12th, 1945, was the 32nd president.
Hold up. That's a lot of presidents, man.
Yeah.
I thought there were, wait a minute, I thought there was only 12 of them. I thought there was only 12 of them. Did it say 12?
Yeah, it's
Read that again.
It says, in the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another, whereof the second...
It said 12, right?
Yep.
It said 12, not
Yep.
32, not 44. Barack Hussein Obama is not mentioning this
That's right.
because it's talking about the pagan, ancient Roman Empire going back about 2,000 years ago
Absolutely.
when they were in their power.
That's right.
So here you are. Now we're giving you a golden nugget.
Yeah.
You talking about we giving you a nugget? We giving you? Yeah, you gave them a nugget of shit. That's what you gave them. You gave them a shit nugget.
A nugget of nonsense.
A nugget of nonsense, man. Go ahead.
As it whereof the second shall begin to reign. I'm sorry. Whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12. And this do the 12 wings signify which thou sawest. As for the voice which thou heardest speak, and that thou sawest not to go off from the heads, but from the midst of the body thereof, this is the interpretation, that after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall. But
yeah, because you had other inferior Caesars under them.
Right.
I'll give you an example, and I always go and use this example. The movie Gladiator. That was Marcus Aurelius during, I'm thinking about the year 181 A.D. Okay, the last 3 of the 12 feathers, or the 12 Roman Caesars,
Right.
the last 3 is Vespasian, all right? Titus, which he was the one that took down Israel.
That's right.
And built the arch of Titus,
Ark of Titus, yep.
and had it carved. Well, his brother actually built it for his brother. Domitian built it for Titus in the name of Titus, because the #1 general of Vespasian was his son Titus. Now, when that thing was fully built up, it wasn't even erected. Titus had died.
Right.
But his brother Domitian kept building it to show respect for his brother Titus. And what he had carved on the walls is the fact that they were taking, they sacked Jerusalem and took all the gold. They took, I believe it was a golden menorah and all the sacred things and golden riches, and they show you it, man. That's a tourist, a big tourist attraction down there in Rome.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
That's a major tourist attraction down there in Rome. The Colosseum's one, and the Arch of Titus is another. And then you know what? That goes back. That arch is still standing there to this very day, and that arch was built going back about 2,000 years ago. Okay? So I just mentioned the last 3 of the 12 major Caesars. Okay? But I ain't going to tell you who the second one is that ruled longer than all of them.
That's right.
That's up to you to break down, Nate, since you missed the golden nugget.
Yeah.
Go ahead. That after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to its beginning. And whereas thou sawest the 8 small underfeathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation, that in him there shall arise 8 kings, whose times shall be but small, and their years swift. And 2 of them shall perish, the middle time approaching. 4 shall be kept until their end begin to approach. But 2 shall be kept unto the end. And whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In the last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein, and they shall have the dominion of the earth, and of those that dwell therein with much oppression above all those that were before them. Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. And whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signified that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of the one shall devour the other. But at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. And whereas thou sawest 2 feathers under the wings passing over the head that is on the right side, it signified that these are they whom the highest hath kept unto their end, that this is the small kingdom and full of trouble, as thou sawest.
Yeah, that's the Roman Empire. So it has nothing to do with America.
That's right.
Ultimately, when you go back to Daniel the 7th chapter, ultimately it goes into America.
Right.
But when you broke it down, you broke it down the wrong way. That's right. You put the cart before the horse. Now going back to the 10th verse to the 13th verse, like I said, that's not talking about America at all. America wasn't even thought of.
Right.
America came 1800 years, let's say, after. I'm just doing the quick math. So you got to get your facts together, man. All right? I wouldn't have got on you today had you got your facts together.
That's right.
Anyway, we didn't go into full detail of this, but one day in the future we'll go into full detail on this and actually mention the different Caesars and so forth, the underfeathers. We mentioned the major ones. Okay?
Okay.
So now let's go from there to Second Esdras, the 14th chapter. We're going to start from the top because there's a key point in here that people go off on too. So let's start reading.
Second Esdras 14:1. And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras. And I said, Here am I, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal my...
Oh, before that, you know what I want you to do? Get me 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. And go to the 40th verse, I believe. And I'm going to show you something.
2nd Ezra 13:40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Yeah, they didn't wait till 200 some odd years later to do it. They did it. They probably did it within that year. And that was during the reign of King Hoshea or King Hawashai. Malak Hawashai. That was a king of the kingdom of the north. And they were taken over by King Shalmaneser V, because there was a line of Shalmanesers. All right, that was their kingly name. And when King Shalmaneser V had taken over the 10 tribes, what happened was they, like the scripture said, they took this counsel among themselves, and that's mentioned also in 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. You read the whole chapter because it mentions King Hoshea, and they said, we're going to go to another land. Now, like I said, going back to Nate said that they went to the Americas in 538, 539 BC, which there's no documents on that. So he says things, and his flock just believe him like he's God Almighty. He don't need no documents. He just says it, and they believe it, man. Okay, there's no record of them, because what they were taken down when you go into the history. They were taken down by King Shalmaneser V during that period of about 720, around 722, 726 in that time frame. That's when they were taken down. Now the other tribes, the kingdom of the south, the kingdom of Judah, they were like, man, the hell with them. They broke off from us. We don't want to know them, man. That's why when you go to the New Testament, you notice that Judah didn't like the fact that the Gentiles, Israelite foreigners, were receiving salvation through Paul and Barnabas, and Paul and Silas, because they had that hatred for them, man. But now in this end, now we're coming back together. The breaches are being closed. Go ahead.
It says that they might dare keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land.
That's why when you go to the history of the North American Indians, you see them wearing fringes, border blue, You see the tribe of Reuben wearing a turban. You see the garments that they wear, and the garments are similar to the Hebrew garments of the Middle East, of the people of the Hebrew Israelites of the Middle East. You see the other tribes, the other so-called Latin tribes, their customs are similar to the customs of the people of the Middle East, of the Israelites. So that proves that's further proof that they have to be the Israelites. And when Columbus came over here and he encountered them, he had Hebrew translators. How did he know that they spoke Hebrew? That's right.
It says, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth.
Right, it says, namely a year and a half. Now, I did some research on Christopher Columbus. I put in how long did it take Christopher Columbus to come over here to the New World, to the Americas. Some historians say it took him about 30 days. Others say it took anywhere from 30 days to 2 months. Some say that it took 90 days, or about 90 days, which 90 days seemed to make sense, but they said that you had storms. So he did. I think he made 3 voyages, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, you had a clear passage to go to the Americas, and then maybe another voyage to America, because after him dying, you had this guy Amerigo Vespucius that went over, and other navigators that went back and forth from Europe, Spain, Italy, and all of Europe to the Americas. So some ships took maybe a month and a half, some took 3 months. So now they're coming from Europe. Pull up a map, brother. Pull up a map. So I want to see it myself. Just pull up the world map. Okay, so I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the map, and you can see from Europe. Good, speak.
Right. So, so basically that's just some history on how the tribes came over to this side of the world. Because the bottom line is, it don't take no year and a half to get from Assyria to Africa, like these other clowns will have you believe.
Okay, like right here. Okay, you got Europe over here. Spain is right around here. Then they set sail from Europe to the Americas. Now they said that they came by way of South America and moved northbound. Now, when you go to the 10 tribes, right over here in Assyria, and they had to go to the Euphrates. They had to go through the Great Ocean, which this is the Indian Ocean. Then they went into the Atlantic, and the Atlantic represents the east coast of the Americas. So that makes sense. If it took 3 months for Christopher Columbus to come to the so-called New World,
that was from Spain.
Excuse me?
That was from Spain, right?
That was a direct shot right to the Americas. But they say in history books that he landed in the southern islands, Dominica and so forth, Hispaniola, and then he moved up. But going back to the 10 tribes, it makes sense that it took maybe a year and a half. All right?
Yeah. Hey, because by the time of Christopher Columbus was what, like 1500s, the ships that they had were a lot better technology.
That's right.
You know, the boats that they had back then, you know, didn't navigate as fast as the boats that came in later in history.
And if I may add, they had to sail around the Horn of Africa.
Exactly. That's why I pointed that out.
Yep,
That's why I pointed that out. Yep.
Which is known for storms.
Yeah, but the Most High said he cleared the storms.
Yeah, yeah.
He cleared
So
the
that
storms.
proves that they had to go. You know,
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Because the Horn is, you know, that's known in history. If you go into that history, that there's a lot of storms, rough seas.
Right.
But the Most High held back those storms. All right. So go ahead.
Right. It says, then dwelt back in 2nd Esdras 13 and 46. Then, I read 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. Now,
yeah, that's Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Because Levi, there were no Levites that went on that journey with the northern kingdom, because Jeroboam had pushed them out, and they had went back to, because what you got to understand about Levi didn't have their own inheritance. That's why they lived in the suburbs among all the tribes. They were mingled among all the tribes. So when that split came, Jeroboam had kicked them out, and they went back with they all got with the kingdom of Judah. So that was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So now Jeroboam set up priests, but he took the different tribes. He had Gad, some of Gad became priests or holy men. Among the different other tribes, they became holy men. They became priests. They took the part of the priests, the priesthood rather. So I mean that's history right there. Now, what I wanted to go into is that word Esdras. Now, read that again.
Okay. This is back verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth.
Yeah, for that country. What country? The new country. You got Patak talking about they went through the country. Read it again.
It says, for through that country there was a great way to go.
Right. What country is it talking about? It's talking about America. To get to that country. It was a long way to go. Read it again.
It says, for through that country there was a great way to go.
Yeah, so they didn't go on the land, they went on the sea. And even scholars know that. But anyway, the place, what was the place? The place? Now I'm going to show you something. Brothers say, well, that's a Latin word meaning that, and this means this. Give me the book of Deuteronomy, the 29th chapter, and start from the 24th verse. Osiris is two Hebrew words that when you put together, when you read it in the Apocrypha, it sounds like one word, but it's two Hebrew words. Go ahead, read.
What is it? Deuteronomy 29?
29.
Deuteronomy 29:24. Even all nations shall say, wherefore have the Lord done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord power of their fathers.
That's why we're over here in this land, man. Because we as a people, because the kingdom of Judah wound up over here too. Because all the tribes broke the laws and the covenant of the Most High. So our punishment was what? The great prison camp, which is America. You wasn't brought over here to become successful, man. You was brought over here to catch hell.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord power of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought...
So these nations know about that, man.
Yep.
They know that these scholars, these biblical historians and the elite, they know why you're in the Americas, man. They know why you went into captivity. Go ahead.
Because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord power of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other gods, and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land as it is this day.
Now, the word another land, click on that. Go into the Hebrew. It's 2 words. Another.
Mm-hmm.
What does another mean?
Another is akha. Akha.
Okay, the next Hebrew word is what?
Land is
Aratizah.
Aratizah.
Okay, now put the 2 words together. Is it achar aratizah, right?
Achar aratizah.
That's the word asaris is really pronounced in the Hebrew achar aratizah, another land.
Right.
Now click on both words.
Okay.
Click on achar.
I clicked on achar. It says another, other, another.
See,
another.
that's a nugget for you.
Yeah, now that's a nugget.
Now that's a nugget. That's a brick. That's a brick of gold for you, man. Okay? See, Nate, if you knew the Hebrew, you would know that.
That's right.
All right, go ahead.
A car, another. All right, that's all that needs to be said. You can look it up yourself.
But he don't he don't believe in the Hebrew.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't talking to him. You brothers. And land. Land. Aratizah. You look up land. Land.
Read all the definitions.
Land, earth, whole earth, country, territory, district.
It's a country. Foot through that country.
Another country. Yeah.
Way.
Yeah.
Even a year and a half.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Tribal territory, piece of ground.
Oh, tribal territory. Who came over here? The tribes, right?
Con.
And they had set up their own territory.
That's right, brother.
Why did Esau come over here? The white man. Because it was part of prophecy.
Yeah, to steal their
See,
territory.
this damn devil, he knows, man.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows. He done figured this shit out a long time ago before we figured it out. And he's baffled at the fact that we figured it out. Guess what? We didn't figure it out. The Most High opened up our minds to get it, man.
Right.
Why? And now the Most High put the Spirit on us to give it to the people to let them know whether they want to accept it or not.
Right.
But it's going to happen anyway.
Right.
When you see this stuff happening, us teaching this word the way we're doing, even them other guys, even Nate, even Bubble Eyes, Degenerate Johanna, all those guys, 14th Street Homo, all those guys, those different camps out there, camps that are broken off and from GMS and set up other camps, and they still kind of go out there. They're still doing the will of the Most High, man, because they're all pushing the name of Israel. Yeah. They're just not pushing it 100%, man.
They're not complete. Or
they're not complete.
Yeah.
That goes back to Ezekiel the 7th chapter. They had the skin was put on them and the bones came together, but they had no breath.
Yeah.
They got it, but they don't got it.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah. But the Most High made it where we got it.
Yeah.
And we don't have the whole thing. When I say we have 100% truth, meaning everything that we teach in the scriptures, going into the scriptures, is the truth. There's other prophecies or secret revelations that the Most High didn't give us, because He gave us all that we supposed to have.
Right.
All right.
Right.
The 7 thunders in Revelation prove that. Yep.
Oh, to back up Elder Tahar, Yahushua made a statement. He said, "The children of this world are wiser than the children of light." So they know.
That's what proves that they know.
They know.
All right, go ahead.
If I may say this real quick.
Yep.
And then like Elder Tahar said, that word Arsareth means another land, because the only thing that they gave it, the name that they gave it, was another land, because it hadn't been inhabited yet. So nobody had stepped foot there to colonize it or to actually inhabit it, to put a name on it. So that's why it was just called another land.
Wouldn't it be also known as Canaan, which means unknown? Canaan?
Well, no, Canaan means lowland. That's what Ariel used to, Ariel went off, unknown. Because it was known, Canaan, lowland. Yeah. In the back of the Red Bible, it tells you that.
God.
All right? God. Go to that.
God.
because the word Canaan means supposed to mean low land. But look it up. Go to where it says Canaan. All right, go ahead.
Canaan, low land, humiliated.
Valley. Another word for valley. And the reason why it was called Canaan, because during the time of Solomon's power, he had a great navy, and it was the Phoenicians, which are the Canaanites, that were great. They were the great seagoers. They were the great navigators. Just as in Columbus' time, you know where Columbus learned how to navigate and deal with ships? Prince Henry the Navigator, man.
That's right.
Which he's supposed to be Portuguese, but he could have been a Jake.
That's right.
They said if you wanted to learn anything about navigation, you had to go to that man, Prince Henry the Navigator. He'll teach it to you.
Yeah, I looked up Canaan, lowland. Yep.
Right, lowland, yep. That's right. That's what it means. Or another word for it is valley. Did not King David say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death?
Yep.
The word there is Canaan. Yea, though I walk through Canaan land. What Canaan land is he talking about? He's talking about America.
That's right.
The valley of the shadow of death. Valley means lowland of the shadow of death. That means death is hovering over you.
Right.
You know?
Con.
That's America. So when it's being called Canaan, that is the right word for it. Valley, lowland. You know?
That's right.
All right, now let's go back to where we left off in Deuteronomy. 24.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 29 and 24. Even all nations shall say, wherefore have the Lord done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? The men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord power of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt.
See, that's why the beard is a fearful thing. And that's why I've been getting on you guys to put your beard on, man, or grow your beard. Because that's part of the fear. That's an identifying mark of you are Israelite, man. Because at one time, back in the day, if you saw a black man with a beard, usually he was a derelict or a bum. So now they look at us and they kind of look at us that way, but then they notice that there's a lot of Hebrew Israelite videos out there and guys all over the place on the corner with beards on their faces, man.
Right.
That's part of your heritage, man.
Right.
Like you brothers better grow your beards, man.
Yeah, wear your beard, man.
And no 5 o'clock shadow, and no lining your beards up.
Yep.
And no bald heads or Caesar haircuts, man.
Yeah.
This ain't a fashion, man. Having a beard on your face and hair on your head ain't no fashion statement, man.
In the Bible dictionary, it says a badge of manly dignity.
That's right.
When you look up the word beard.
That's right. And it tells you when you cats out there, you dudes out there need to go back and read Revelation, the 2nd chapter, and Revelation, the 3rd chapter, about you doing everything right, but you're off on this point, or you're off on that point. This church, you're off on that point. Like the church of Laodicea, they were off because they were bragging that they had more money than all the other churches, man. So they went off.
Right.
And it says to one church, come back to your first love, man.
That's right.
The Lord said, Yahweh Shai said to another church, if you don't get yourself correct, I'm gonna pull out that candle, man.
Yep. Yeah, he did say that.
What did this guy say? I'm gonna put out your fuse.
Put out your fuse. He said. Then another one. He said, "I'll come unto you fighting."
Right, fight with the sword.
Yeah.
Fighting with the sword in my mouth. So you guys better get it together. This ain't no joke, man. All right.
Yeah, well,
And you niggas out there in GMS, and you ain't got no fucking business driving around in a damn car with no goddamn insurance, speeding, man, with no damn job. You niggas better get it right, man. Hey, give me Romans 13.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You got to get it right, man, or get eliminated. You
Get
know?
it right or get eliminated.
That's right.
Get it together or leave it alone. If you don't want my loving, I'll be gone. Go ahead.
Romans 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Whosoever...
So this devil being in power, why is he in power? He's wicked as hell. Oh, the Roman Empire. Why were they in power 2,000 years ago? Because the Most High set him up. Why is this devil in power today? And he's still in power? Because the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, set him up. Why were the Medio Persians in power? Because the Most High set him up. Why were the Egyptians in power and at a certain point in time they went down? And it was given to Abraham the prophecy that they were going to be in power for a certain amount of time, 400 years, and then they're going to be destroyed. Why? Because the Most High had a time limit for them. See, this is what this devil don't understand. He don't understand that he has a time limit, man. You got a time to rule, man. You done threw away money, giving it to Comfy and all them other guys to try to make them not teach the word. The word is going out any damn way, man. You ain't going to add, and I always say this, you ain't going to add a millisecond of time onto your rulership, man. The Most High has it in the books. He has it in the books. He has the very second that you're going to go down. And everything that you're doing to fight this is a waste of damn time, man. You saw you got records of the history, man. You sent your scholars and your archaeologists to dig things up. You know that the ark of Noah. You know that's the truth because you went to Mount Ararat and you said, "Yep, it's there, man."
That's right.
Through your technology.
That's right.
You know that the walls of Jericho came tumbling down. You have the documents on it, man.
Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. You know about Sodom and Gomorrah, man. You know where Lot's wife is standing even to this day, man.
Yeah. To this day.
To this day.
She's out there.
You know that you're Edomites.
Yep. And they know.
Go ahead. See, I'm going to say this, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai put the spirit on us and the other guys. I'll give them a little credit.
Yeah.
I'll give Nate and Johan and them, and even, Comfy, he don't even make videos no more. He riding around in my back and shit.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of Israelites that came out of One West. See, the men that came out of One West, we shine over all of the other Israelite camps that teach that the white man is Japhet, you know? Hold up, Bach. Intermission. All right, we're back. One of the cameras blew up. So we got another camera hooked up. We got more than one camera. And we're going back into it. Hey, where did I leave off at? I was pretty much...
You made a statement.
Yeah, I made a statement, a heavy statement. That's when the camera blew up. But I'm going to take the camera to the repair guy, you know, see what happens. But like I said, we have other cameras. But anyway, we're going back into it. We were reading. Okay, we broke down about Esdras, which is two Hebrew words, Achar Aratazah, which means another land, literally, right? And that other land or another land is actually America itself. Okay, so go back to where you left off in Deuteronomy 29, and you was at 24. You read a couple of verses down.
Yeah, the 25th verse. The men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord power of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other gods, and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. You know, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking of Nate. Now, the Lord got pissed off because we worship other gods. Nate is worshiping another god, even as we speak. By him saying that his name is Christ, that's another god, man. You know, that's not Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Reading on in the 28th verse. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land as it is this day.
Yeah, so the first that was uprooted out of the land was the kingdom of Israel, and then later in history was the a little bit more than 200 years later. Well, not really. No. I'm sorry. They were taken down by the Babylonians. Then the Medo-Persians came on the scene, and it was what's his name, Cyrus, that had financed them to build the temple once again. And then they stayed in Jerusalem, in the region of Israel, in our homeland. They stayed there all the way up to the time when the Messiah came on the scene. And after the Messiah had died and rose back up, they were still on the scene even up until the time of the 70, 71, 72 A.D.
Right.
Going back to the history of Titus, Vespasian's father, and Domitian, when there was a campaign to totally do away with the Israelites. Exactly. And what happened was a lot of them died. A lot of them fled into other parts of Europe, Egypt. A lot of them fled down into the interiors of Africa. And then later in history, starting from the 1500s, mid to late 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, that's when they were brought over here. But the so-called, we call them the Latin tribes, but the so-called, the other tribes, the Northern Kingdom, they were already here. They were established. Esau came on the scene. When did Christopher Columbus set sail and come to the New World? The end, about the last 8 years before the turn of that century, which was 1500. And if you notice, shortly after that, that's when Christopher Columbus had brought back slaves back to Spain.
Right.
Okay? And that was the same time that maybe 50 years later, 100 years later, that's when Jake started being brought over here. So you see how everything comes into play?
Yep.
Let's read on.
This is 2 Esdras 13 and 46. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. Now
because the three tribes, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, stay within the Lord's borders, which is over there in the land of Israel. Go ahead.
It says, now when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. And
so that hasn't changed. The stuff that the Lord is dealing with everybody. Everybody is his people. He's coming back to his people. He shall defend his people. Go ahead.
And then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O Lord, that bearest rule, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon earth see my son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime. This is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here lightened. For thou hast forsaken thine own way, and applied thy diligence unto my law, and sought it. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thy mother. And therefore have I showed thee the treasures of the highest. After other 3 days I will speak other things unto thee, and declare unto thee mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth into the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto the Most High, because of his wonders which he did in time, and because he governeth the same, and such things as fall in their seasons. And there I sat 3 days. 2 Esdras 14 and 1.
Now that's what we want to get into, 2 Esdras, the 14th chapter. Go ahead.
It says, and it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, And behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras. And I said, Here am I, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to the mount of Sinai, where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thine heart the signs that I have showed, and the dreams that thou hast seen, and the interpretations which thou hast heard. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee until the times be ended. For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts.
Yeah, now this is what we wanted to get. For the world is divided into 12 parts. You have people out there, brothers out there teaching that the 12 parts represent the 12 tribes of Israel. It's not talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. It's talking about time. It's talking about time. Go ahead.
It says, For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Now therefore...
Right, half of the 10th part. What is half of a 10th part? 9.5, right? So let's deal with thousands, all right? The earth was set up in a period of 1,000 years. 12,000 years. Now, 10,000 and a half of 10, all right? It's not talking about 10,500 years. It's talking about 9,500 years. You know how we know that? Because this is Esdras receiving the prophecy, right? When was Ezra on the scene? He was on the scene around, when this was written, was about 485, 490 years before the birth of the Lord.
Right.
So you can round it off to 500, about approximately 500 years.
Right.
So 500 years later, that's when Yahushua came on the scene, right?
Right. That's right.
Now, from the time of Yahushua to now, that's how many years? That's 12,000, right? That's 12,000 parts.
Yep.
So we're beyond the 12,000 parts. So this man, if you notice, this man is going down, man. This man is going down.
Yep.
Go ahead.
This is our second Esdras chapter 7, verse 25. And therefore Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass. And the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth.
The bride is us.
And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. For my son Yahushua shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. After these years shall Yahushua die, and all men that have life.
That's right. That's plain. That's right. That's that time period, man. But like I said, when you look up Esdras, you'll find out that Esdras is the Greek way of saying Ezra. When you read about Ezra in the Bible. So these are the other books that are really part of Ezra that should be in the Bible. But the Apocrypha is a part of the Bible that this devil pulled out. So like I said, he was on the scene 400 plus, almost 500 years. All right? And he said that 10 parts have gone already, which was right. Because he was in that 10th year, actually 9,500 years.
Right.
So to complete that 10,000 year, that's when Yahushua came on the scene. And now 2,000 years later, here we are right now. Give me Hosea 4 and 6.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Hosea 6 and 6. Start at the first verse.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 1. Come, and let us return unto the Lord. For he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up.
Are we being bound up right now? We being bound up right now. In other words, if you're torn, when you're bound up, that means you're being healed. Go ahead.
After 2 days will he revive us. In the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight.
So what are we in? We're at the end of the 12th day, or the 12,000 years, pursuant to Peter's, and we're in the third day. So now we're being raised up. So this man's time is up, man. But how is he going down? He's going down little by little. That's how the Canaanites were taken down. That literally says that, little by little. Most High had the hornets coming after them, had the curses coming after them. The same thing with the Egyptian empire. There were plagues that were plaguing them. So they were going down.
I had a precept for you.
Go ahead.
Because Elder Tom mentioned we're in the third day. Now, our day begins at night. So then when you go in Genesis, it says, and the night and the day was the and then roughly paraphrasing, and the night began the day. And then you had the day part of the day, which followed next. This is Lamentations 2:19. It says, arise, cry out in the night of the third day. In the beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thy hands toward him for the life of thy young children that faint for hunger in the top of every street. And we're fulfilling that prophecy right now. We're the ones crying out in the night of the third day.
And that hunger is not talking about actual food like Nate is teaching. That hunger is talking about hunger for the truth.
That's right.
That's it on that?
Yeah, that's it on that, brother.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 1. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books. It says, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years, whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. So the point here being that Daniel said that he understood by books, which is the Bible, the number of the years where the Lord spoke by Jeremiah the prophet that Israel was going to accomplish 70 years in captivity. So we're reading now about the number of years or the allotted time that the Lord, the Most High, gave for this kingdom to rule, or for this world to be in rulership of these other nations. Now it's time for the Son of the Most High, Yahushua, to come back and take his rightful seat as the ruler over the whole universe, over the whole world. You know, so the time period of these nations that they should rule is up now. That's why we're reading about these things. That's why it was written in the book of Second Ezra we just read about the 12 parts. Those 12 parts represented 12,000 years from the creation of the earth. Now this is what King Solomon mentioned or said in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. This is the 7th chapter and the 17th verse. It says, for he hath given me certain knowledge of things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alteration of the turning of the sun and the change of seasons. So anytime before the Lord would do something, he would reveal his secrets, or he would reveal whatever it was that he wanted to reveal to his prophets, you know, and it would always have something to do with a time frame or time period, because the Most High deals in times and he deals in measures. He deals with empires. He sets empires up. He takes empires down. You know, he has a certain period of time for them to rule. He has a certain period of time for them to fall. But they don't fall overnight. It takes a process of time.
Well, some of them do fall overnight. Babylonian Empire fell overnight after that, you know, so that happens, man.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, because earlier, like I said, I mentioned about the night of the third day. We're in the third day. No, well, actually, he mentioned the third day, and the day begins at night. I just wanted to explain that before the brother goes to his next thought. This is a scripture that backs up what I just said. Genesis 1:5, and the power called the light day, and the darkness called he night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Now, that means 1,000 years. But you notice it says the evening and the morning. So the day begins in the evening. So right now we're crying out in the evening, and then the day part of the day, that's when Yahushua is going to come back, which Yahushua is the sun anyway, right? And the sun comes up in the day, so it all ties in, you know?
I got a scripture I just stumbled upon. Job, and this is a new scripture. Job 15:20. It says, "The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor." Let me read that again. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days. Because even though this devil's in rulership, man, they still catching hell with that money, man. A lot of these super rich, their children are killing themselves. Hey, I remember years back, maybe 10 years back, before we came on YouTube, we was out there speaking. Because before YouTube was on the scene, we was out there on 34th, and we was out there speaking with all them other guys were doing what the hell they were doing, like Nate and the rest of those guys. They were taking a break. They took a hiatus, man. But anyway, we was out there, and we got the Daily News, and they said in the front page, it said, Rothschild dies of drug overdose. And there was one of the sons of the Rothschilds. You know what, brother? See if you can get that up and get the right year and all that. Because though you have all those riches, man, your kids still have problems, man. Like they had this one, a couple Rothschilds, and they're so-called Jews, right? There was one guy married to this one woman. I forget their names, but the woman was messing around with this rapper. So you know this dude, the man of the house, the Rothschild, he was all messed up by it because she was all in love with a damn Negro from the streets, man. So you think he was happy with that? He wasn't happy with that. Yep. These super rich, they all got problems, man. Some of them, one of the Rothschilds were born retarded. All right, you had Joe Kennedy. He had a daughter that was born severely retarded, and instead of putting her to death, which he thought wasn't humane, he lobotomized this damn young girl, man, and she was just sitting there lobotomized, you know. So you super rich, you catching hell. You ain't letting the world know of the hell that the travail that you're going through, but you're catching hell. Let me read this again. I'm going to read this scripture a lot. It says, "The wicked man travaileth with pain all of his days."
That's right. That's right.
You, David D. Rothschild, you're travailing because you know that very soon you're going to be shackled up, man.
It terrifies them.
You're being terrified right now, man.
Yeah.
Of the Most High putting the spirit on the men of the Lord. Even the niggas among Israel is out there teaching, thinking that they're men of the Lord. They're pushing Israel, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I got the story for you.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
To back you up.
Let me finish reading that because I love this scripture. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. In other words, you can't say when the Most High going to take your ass down. Sure. All you know, you terrified, you messed up, you keeping up, appearances and shit. But on the inside, you shaking, man. Your bones are shaking, man. You know that you're going down soon. And Barack Obama is looking like a complete asshole, man.
Jackass.
Everybody's waking up to that lame duck.
That's right.
This is Job 20:19. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. And the other one is Job 21:13. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave.
Ooh, well, this will back you up, brother. This is from the Daily News. Just like Elatar said, we were out there teaching, and that story came across. I remember this. It says, heir dies of heroin overdose.
But that's the Rothschild. Yeah. That's the richest family on the planet. Why would this guy have a drug problem? Yeah, I can understand if you was in the mean streets of the city, in Chicago somewhere or New York, destitute, no money. Then that's why a lot of people turn to drugs, man. But you are part of the richest family on the planet, and you died of a damn heroin overdose, man.
Yeah, heir dies of, and he was an heir. dies of heroin overdose. Bank scion D. Rothschild found on Chelsea sidewalk. He was found on a Chelsea sidewalk. Chelsea is a part in New York. He was born into one of the world's wealthiest families and lived a glided New York life of parties at downtown restaurants and dates with beautiful models. But Raphael, actually it was women, beautiful models.
He got the nerve to call himself Raphael, man.
Yeah, Raphael. That's what I thought. Yep. But Raphael de Rothschild, 23. He was 23 years old. A scion of the famed banking family, died a junkie's death when he was found overdosed on heroin on a Chelsea sidewalk after partying in a pal's apartment, cops said. De Rothschild was discovered unconscious on 10th Avenue last Saturday afternoon and was later pronounced dead, a police spokeswoman said yesterday. A spokeswoman for the medical examiner's office said a toxicology report was not complete, but a police official said we have little doubt he died of a drug overdose. So there you go, man. You know, one of the wealthiest families on the planet, the Rothschilds, one of their own died of a drug overdose, which proves, what is that, the book of Job, 15 and 20 all the way. They lived in pain. For you to overdose on heroin, that means you lived a life of pain, man. You know, because you take heroin to what? Ease the pain. So, the story, Saturday, April 29th, 2000.
Okay, now so when we were speaking on that. It was on that Saturday, man.
Yeah, it was on.
We were speaking about it, and it was going over the people's head.
Yeah. So there's it's from the Daily News, and the article we had back then, I do remember, was a Daily News article.
This is Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Because this is supposed to be like the top rich family on the earth, and that's shameful, man. Yeah, one of your heirs are found unconscious on the streets of New York, man.
And that's also a testament to you going down, you Rothschilds. That's a testament to you going down, man. You're losing your power. You know? I got a scripture too. This is the book of Revelation 12:12. It says, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So regarding time, we're talking about time here. You devils know you're going down, and you're really going to push the envelope at the very last end, because you know that you have but a short time before Yahweh Shai come and take you out of rulership.
Yeah, I got another precept right here, right quick. You got some? I got another precept. Let me just hit this right quick. This is Psalms 90, and okay, the 11th verse on down. It said, Who knoweth the power of thine anger? Even according to thy fear, so is thy wrath, the Most High's wrath. So teach us the number. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. So this is the time that you're supposed to apply your hearts to wisdom. All right. It says, Return, O Lord. This is for you guys that say, well, we don't know when the Lord's coming, and you shouldn't be concerned about it, right? It says, Return, O Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. How long? And let it repent thee concerning thy servants. 14. O satisfy us early with thy mercy. In other words, we want the Most High to come yesterday, man. All right? O satisfy us early with thy mercy. Surprise us, you know. Come back next week. That'd be nice. Yeah. How about this Monday? That'd be nice, you know. It says, it'll be right on time. O satisfy us early with thy mercy, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. Because when are we going to be rejoice and be glad in the kingdom? We ain't got no business rejoicing and being glad in this man's society, man.
That's right. So we should be in a bitter. Oh, wait a minute. So we should be in a bitter, angry, grumpy spirit.
Okay.
Back to what you said about prior to that, you just talking about how Esau, the Lord is bringing this man down. So if you got common sense and know the scriptures, you'll know that, man. This is Obadiah 1 and the 6th verse. I'm gonna read real quick. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Now you was bringing out about the Rothschild that they found on drugs. Now that's one of the members of the elite banking families. That's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen. But them people are messed up anyway. Them Edomites, they all fucked up in the head. Anyway, they got all that money and power, and they got Satan with them, but which we got the Mosiah and Yahushua with us. But these devils, in other words, that's the Lord in these last days, according to prophecy, revealing these devils for the scumbags and the lowlifes that they really are, man. They just got the money and the power. That's only because the Lord gave it to them. That was their blessing. Right? I'll read it again. How are the things of Esau searched out? Meaning they're being revealed as being the weak little faggots that they are. All right? Yep. And plus all this. Yeah, in other words, the Lord is revealing them. The Lord is showing that they're nothing but scumbags. And then the Lord got other Edomites revealing them. Anthony Hilda, Jordan Maxwell, Eustace Mullins. Okay? All them type of guys, man. So they're being, well, the main way is through us. Through the elect, through the prophets, which, hey, I pray I'm one of the elect, but, you know. But now I'll go up to, see, but them guys would never say that. Nate would never say that. The dude, the queen of the 2/3, that big, bulky faggot, he made a statement, I know the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with me. Yeah. He straight up said that. I saw the video. I know the Spirit of the Lord.
The question is, does the Spirit of the Lord deal with you in the wintertime?
Yeah.
You know? Or does the spirit of Campbell's soup and hot chocolate deal with your ass in the winter time? Huh?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to read this real quick, too. 4th verse. I'm going to jump back up a little because the Elder Tal, y'all brought up the thing about Esau. This devil's going down, right? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Now, we in that time right now. We in that time right now, man. The Lord is bringing the so-called white man down. And then these devils, these little stupid, mediocre devils walking around, they proud. They still got that pride because, well, when you go up to the top, when you go to the 1st verse, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom, right? And then it says, hold on, what verse I want? I want to, 3, the water, yep. All right. But I read verse 1 just to show that this is talking about Esau. Now, Bubble Blackfish said that some Edomites are going to be saved, or Esau could be saved, right? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? But then in the 4th verse, the Lord is going to bring you down. The Lord's going to destroy these so-called white people. He already been bringing them down, but he's going to ultimately get you, man, pursuant to Revelations 13, 9, and 10, y'all going into slavery. And there ain't no Edomite going to make it out of that, man. There ain't going to be 5 Edomites or a handful of Edomites. It said Edom. That means every lad. That was plural, right? It said, I'll read it again, the 1st verse. The vision of Obadiah, who was a prophet of the Lord, thus saith the Lord, power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, concerning Edom, the whole damn nation, man. But 5 out of that going to make it out of there, man. 5 of them out there going to make it, and they're going to be in the kingdom. How the hell
that's why that guy blocks us, man. You know, that's why he blocks us. Hey, but anyway, let's go back into the Apocrypha. All right? Back to where we were breaking it down.
Khan, this is the book of, 2nd Esdras, chapter 14, verse 10. For the world has lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Excuse me.
Yeah, there remaineth that the half of the 10th part, meaning the end of that half of the 10th part, that's when Yahweh Shai going to come on the scene, which makes it a complete 10th part, which is 9.5.
Now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people, Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Not embrace it. Renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. And set aside.
I'm sorry. The queen of the 2/3. He said you're supposed to be soft and not be angry and bitter. You're supposed to have a laid back, weak spirit.
When you put off the weak nature, that means you got to put on a hard nature, man. All right. And a guy with a weak nature, when it's too cold out there, he ain't gonna go out, man. Okay, so that right there, just based on the fact that you don't go out in the winter times, you know, that proves that you're not a man of the Lord. Talking about you one of the elect. You got to stop lying to yourself, boy.
It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times.
Oh, well, concerning the elites, the thoughts that are most heavy unto them is the fact that they're going down. That's why that Rothschild was found dead, OD'd on heroin, on heroin.
It says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age. So,
like I said, look how much the world has become weaker through age. We know it's not talking about Israel, man. We know it's not talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Because when that split took place, how many tribes did you have that went with Jeroboam? Wasn't that was it 10?
10.
Right, you're right.
10
You're right.
Tribes,
It was 10 tribes.
Yeah.
10 tribes, because 3 tribes stayed with the kingdom of Judah.
Right.
So that was the 10 tribes. So the fact that it says a ninth, part of a 10th. See, back at One West, they used to teach that 9.5 tribes. That was Levi. Levi wasn't. Well, you said that in your the video that you did on the last. Was that? You mentioned that you went into that, that was a good series right there, man. Because you went into a lot of history on how the 10 tribes, and you linked Reuben up in there, and it made 100% sense, man. You know, so that part right there is not talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, and 10 tribes was cut, and half of that of the 10th and all that nonsense. It's talking about a time period, man. Go ahead.
Elder Tahar, because Jeroboam, if them assholes studied, well, I ain't talking about Ariana and them, they just went off. But them other guys, Jeroboam.
Ariana didn't have no business going off, man.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why we got to correct them, too. That's what they used to teach at the main school. They went off.
They went off, man.
All right, they went off, all right? And then, you know what, that doesn't mean that he's not a man of the Lord. It wasn't given to no one man.
That's right, Khan. Yeah, because Jeroboam, if you read it, it's right there in the scripture, man. It said Jeroboam made all the Levites depart out of the land of Israel, man. Meaning the 10 tribes, Reuben and Gad and Ephraim and us, because of that wicked-ass Jeroboam, we kicked all the Levites out. We say, they got to leave, man. And then he started setting up members of the other tribes as being the priests, which he was going off.
Going back to the show that you did, you said that you had Gadites that were holy men. That's where you get the term, he's a holy man. Like in the movie with Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves, they said the Edomite bitch that was talking the Gadite language, he said, he is a holy man. The guy was named Graham Greene. He played the holy man because that goes back to Jeroboam saying, okay, you Gadites, you're gonna be the Levites. You're going to be the new priest. And Reuben, you're going to be priest. Some of y'all, and this tribe, you're going to be priests. So all of them had their they call them shamans, medicine men, holy men. That's right. Because they replaced the Levites. Because Jeroboam, as you said, pushed out the Levites, and they went among Judah, and Benjamin, you know?
They were the lowest, the scriptures say they were the lowest of the people. It says it right here. 1 Kings 13 and 33, after this thing Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lowest of the people priests. The lowest of the people, priests of the high places. And if the reason why he did that is because he cast out the Levites.
Yeah, it actually says it. I don't know if you got the scripture, but it actually says it. He cast out Levi.
Right.
And they left from there. I read it a couple weeks back, but I can go through it, but you know.
Right. So 1 Kings 13 and 33. Here's the account that says that Jeroboam took the lowest of the people and made them priests. Why? Because he cast out the Levites. Lowest of the people priests of the high places, whosoever would he consecrated, whosoever would he consecrated after him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. He himself became a priest. But yet the scripture said, yeah, but check this out. Yet the scripture said that he returned not from his evil way, but he became a priest.
One quick thing. Hey, maybe you Jeroboam, man. You wicked ass nigga. Because you used to be a Gadite. Elder Tahar told me, I didn't see the video. Now you a Judite. And I posed the question again. What happened? How did you switch tribes, man? Or back in one West?
I'll give you the reason. Because he's a holy man.
Yeah. Because you know what, man? Maybe I'm just saying it in speculation. You might be Jeroboam, man. Nate, you might be Jeroboam because you wicked as hell, man.
It could have been. It could be Nate. It could be the General Yohana. It could be Comfy. Could be Bubble Eye Blackfish. Well, Bubble Eye, he kind of fits that bill because he's out of control, man. His nonsense.
Right. It says, this is back in 2 Esdras 14:17. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. I got a quick precept, 2 Esdras 5 and 48. Then said he unto me, even so have I given the womb. I'm sorry, let me read 47. And I said, she can, 48. Then said he unto me, even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in it in their times. For like as a young child may not bring forth the things that belong to the aged, even so have I disposed the world which I created. And I asked and said, seeing thou hast not given me the way, I will proceed to speak before thee. For our mother, of whom thou hast told me she is young, draweth now nigh unto age. He answered me and said, ask a woman that beareth children, and she shall tell thee. Say unto her, wherefore are not they whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature? And she shall answer thee, they that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb faileth, are otherwise. Consider thou therefore also how that you are less of stature than those that were before you, and so are they that come after you less than ye, as a creature which now begin to be old, and have passed over the strength of youth. Because when you go back in the time in the history, everything back then was bigger. Men were bigger, the animals were bigger, the fruits and vegetation, trees, everything was a lot bigger, you know. But now as time has drawn closer to the end, everything is lesser and lesser of stature.
And wickedness increases.
Right, and wickedness increases, everything is less and less of stature. You
That's
know,
right.
why? Because we're coming now to the time of the very end. When you read the scriptures, they tell you that it took 2 strong men to hold a cluster of grapes. That means that those grapes, each one of them grapes had to be the size of probably of a watermelon today. You know? So if it took 2 strong men to hold a cluster of grapes, now a cluster of grapes, a baby can hold it in his hands. That just shows you how far gone this world and how corrupt this world has become. And now remember, going back during the time of Adam, the Most High said that he looked on the earth and he saw the wickedness of man, that it was great. And he said it repented him that he made man. So the Most High destroyed the earth back then because of the wickedness of man. So the Most High said this time he's going to destroy it by what? By fire. Back then it was by water, now it's going to be by fire. And wickedness has exceedingly polluted the earth today. You know, through you devils out there that are and Jake is man, you so-called Negroes.
Jake is mega wicked.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hella wicked.
Man, you put the capital W in wickedness, man.
Yep.
You know, because you search out wickedness to the last extreme, and the main thing is that you practice it on your own people.
Yep.
You know, you claim to be oppressed, but you practice that wickedness on your own people. You scheme on your own.
Niggas ain't shit, man.
So that just shows you ain't shit, man. That's why the Most High is going to destroy 2/3 of you.
Let's get back to that.
Con. So going back to 2 Esdras 14 and 17, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils grow upon them that dwell therein. For the truth is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the vision to come which thou hast seen. Then answered I before thee and said, verse 20, Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But there shall be born. Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present.
Did it say build a soup kitchen? Or what you call it, Salvation Army to get clothes and all that? All right. Did it say to build a bread line and welfare cheese and all that? Give to the poor and all that? Because how can they apply the scriptures when they're naked? How do they apply the scriptures when they ain't got no food in their bellies? Right. Look, man, I've been out there going on 30 years. I ain't seen nobody coming to the camp butt-ass naked, all right? Yeah. Because Jake ain't doing that bad. Now, them Latin American countries and stuff like that, they dirt poor, man. Levi, since you so into your people, man, why don't you close shop up here? Because all the camps are up here anyway. Why don't you close shop and go down to Haiti, man? Yeah. They need your help bad, man. You need to get on a plane and get down to Haiti, Nate, all right, and help them, because they butt naked, man. They praying to get to their next meal. Back before the earthquake, they were eating dirt cakes, man. Yeah, right. These niggas up here, man, there's always a church that'll give you food. There's always a government that'll give you food. There's always shelters. There's welfare. You get emergency food stamps, all that, man. These niggas up here are doing good. There's a different type of poor. That's right. You know, a poor Jake up here, he got a flat screen TV, he got cable, but he poor. And a nice car. He might not have a car, but he uses a subway system and all that, but he'll play the system and he'll get them emergency food stamps and welfare and all that. You know, his phone go out, he uses baby mama's name and his baby's name. If he got 5 kids, that's a hustle, man. So since you so in the poor, which you a damn hypocrite, take your black ass down to Haiti, man. Because they need you down there, man.
It's a lot of work. There's a lot of Haiti down there. They catching hell down there in South America, Rio. A lot of them tribes, Asher, Naphtali down there, they doing bad.
Guess what? Good, they're catching hell. Because them motherfuckers are Roman Catholics, man.
That's right. Good for them.
Now, if you gave them the scriptures, guess what? They'll buck up against the scriptures. But you're going to give them a peanut butter sandwich and a bowl of soup? You didn't get the scripture, but here's your bowl of soup, man.
It says, Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present.
That's our job, man. That's my job. That's your job. That's our job.
But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness.
You don't admonish people with a grilled cheese sandwich. yeah. You don't admonish them with the scriptures, man. What is a scripture gonna do if they ain't got no clothes on their back? Like I said, y'all can go all through the city in New York City. I ain't gonna see no Jake butt naked, man.
No matter how poor they are. Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. For thy law is burnt, therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the works that shall begin. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Spirit into me, and I shall write all that hath been done in the world since the beginning, which were written in the law, in thy law, that men may find thy path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live.
If I may, that proves all what Elder Tar has been saying about the parts. It's talking about times upon the earth. The parts represent times upon the earth. Right. You see what Esdras just say. So it ain't talking about the tribes, which that's the way they used to break it down. That's not talking about the tribes.
And he answered me, saying, Go thy way, gather the people together, and say unto them that they seek thee not for 40 days. But look thou, prepare thee many box trees, and take with thee Sariah, Debria, Salamia, Ecanus, and Asiel, these 5 which are ready to write swiftly. And come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in thine heart, which shall not be put out, till the things be performed which thou shalt begin to write.
Yeah, so when you break down these scriptures, the Most High has a light a candle in your heart, your mind. Light meaning brighten your mind. That's why Ariel was able to break down them 12 tribes, because the Most High put light in put a candle in his heart, in his mind.
That's right. Excuse me.
That goes back to what's written in Revelation about those churches. Was it the 2nd chapter and the 3rd chapter?
Yep.
Those churches that wasn't perfect before the Lord said, I will come and remove your candlestick out of its place. It goes back to what the Lord told Esdras, I will light a candle of understanding in your heart. Go ahead, brother.
It says, and when thou hast done, some things shalt thou publish, and some things shalt thou show secretly to the wise. Tomorrow this hour shalt thou begin to write. Then went I forth as he commanded, and gathered all the people together, and said, Hear these words, O Israel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Egypt, from whence they were delivered, and received the law of life, which they kept not, which you also have transferred after them. Which ye also have transgressed after them. Then was the land, even the land of Zion, parted among you by lot. But your fathers and ye yourselves have done unrighteousness, and have not kept the ways which the highest commanded you. And for as much as he is a righteous judge, he took from you in time the things that he had given you. And now are ye here, and your brethren among you. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, you shall be kept alive, and after death you shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest.
Read that again.
Come. It says, for after death shall the judgment come. Right, because there is a judgment that's coming. It says, when we shall live again. Why? Because when you die, your spirit goes to the Most High, then you come back again on the earth, which proves what? Reincarnation. You come back. You don't just, your spirit just goes off into limbo somewhere. You keep coming back. It says, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest. Now, who are the names of the righteous? The names of the elect. Right? And the works of the ungodly shall be declared. And how is it going to be declared? Through what you see today. And the ones that are, like Paul said, to the one where the savor unto life, and to the one where the savor of death unto death.
Yeah, yep. If I may, one of the works of the ungodly is that chip. You're going to see that manifest, man. That's the main work that this devil is going to do, that's going to bring that judgment upon him, that chip, which is found in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse, the mark of the beast, that chip. That's one of the works of the ungodly.
Right, it says, let no man therefore come unto me now, nor seek after me these 40 days. So I took the 5 men as he commanded me, and we went into the field and remained there. And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Esdras, come, open thy mouth, and drink that I give thee to drink. Then opened I my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. And I took it and drank, and when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, for my spirit strengthened my memory, and my mouth was open and shut no more. The highest gave understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful vision of the night that were told, which they knew not. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. As for me, I spake in the day, and I held not my tongue by night. In 40 days they wrote 204 books. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were fulfilled, that the highest spake, saying, the first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them unto such as be wise among the people.
Yeah, I got a good precept to go along with this too, man. Being that it's talking about prophecies and the understanding of the things that's going to happen now. In the same chapter, well, not chapter, I'm sorry, the same book, 2nd Esdras, the 8th chapter and the 63rd verse, right? Same prophet, Esdras. Behold, O Lord, Yahweh Shai, now thou hast showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. Now the Elder Gabal mentioned the chip, right, and all the different, the wonders is going to be the destruction of America, the deliverance of the elect of Israel, right? Begin to do in the last times. But at what time thou hast not showed me? This is the Most High, the Lord, answering Ezra's back. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Now, we've been doing that for years. Like people say, oh, you guys said in the year 2000 America was going to be destroyed, but it didn't happen. The scripture says hasten into the day. We are measuring the time, man. Now the Lord, Yahushua told the 12, it's not for you to know, but yo, man, we go according to the prophecies of what we see, and we measure the time. We say, well, look, man, well, at least, man, by this point right here, the Lord probably got to come and destroy this place. When this happened and that happened, by this time point, the scripture, the Most High told we're supposed to be doing that. That's hastening to the day. So that's righteous what we do. So when we say, look, man, this man might not go past 2014 because the way this is going on and when we see it building up, right? That's called measuring the time. He answered me. I'm sorry.
Can I just read this to back you up on that? Just one verse. Isaiah 51:14. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail.
That's right, because we're captives. Now this asshole, the queen of the 2/3, so we're the angry, bitter spirit, we ain't supposed to be. Look, man, fuck you, man. All right? He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Diligently. Right. Like the brother just read the scripture, we're captives. So we said, look, man, according to this, okay, Obama got elected. He's passing that bill, that law. Okay, this thing is about to pop, right? And which thou seest, okay, diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs, the prophecies in the scriptures pass, when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right? Therefore, when thou shalt be seen, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
No, this guy, 14th Street gay ferry boat. We always get on you because you're a big fraud, man.
Yeah.
You made a statement. You made the statement. I didn't make the statement for you. You made the statement. You said 10 years from now I'm going to be doing that, this, that, and the other. Now, James 5 cut you, but now it says, the elder just read that, it says you're going to see earthquakes, uproars of the people. Put it on, do you ever watch Euro News or BBC?
That's right.
There's uproars of the people all over the world, man, and it's about this close to coming to America, man. You know? Go ahead, Ak.
Earthquakes, like the elder Tahar just said, man, ain't nothing but goddamn earthquakes, man. Ain't nothing but earthquakes, man. Come on, man. All over, man. China, the Orient over there, they having earthquakes in the Middle East.
Earthquakes, you got all these riots, man.
Yep. Greece.
Yeah, a guy just got killed, got stabbed up. He got stabbed up in Egypt. Edomite American that came over here, went over there and with that protest, and somebody stabbed his ass up, man. They don't want to see these dark nations. They don't want to see your cracker ass. Hey, well, even Trayvon Martin called this guy Zimmerman a creepy ass cracker. You know?
Yeah. You see that? Uproars. Yeah, they had that. They got the thing going on with Gad. I don't know more. All them Gadites are rising up. The thing in the Occupy Wall Street. That madness was going on in Egypt with Gaddafi. They was uprising over there in Greece.
Oh, there was a thing I saw in the news the other day. If you use a chalk and write on the concrete in front of a bank saying the bank is corrupt, do you know they'll lock your ass up for 7 years? And you know why they're doing that? Because they don't want anybody to wake up to the fact that these banks are corrupt. But everybody's waking up, man.
Yep. You see that? Fourth verse. This is the Most High speaking to Esdras. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, right? For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and end, and the end is manifest.
And that's it. I'm going to let him read the last two verses. We're getting ready to close. Now, this is earlier we had mentioned that Jeroboam pushed out all the Levites. Because back at the One West, at the old school, they used to say that there was 9.5 tribes that went to the Americas or went with Jeroboam. Because half of the Levites, the tribe of Levite, had went with him. That's not scriptural. this is 2 Chronicles 11, verse 14. It says, for the Levites left their suburbs and their possession and came to Judah, meaning the kingdom of Judah, Judah and Benjamin, and Jerusalem. For Jeroboam and his sons had cast them off from executing the priest's office unto the Lord. So that's the backup, because we don't just want to say it and say, well, it's in one of the scriptures, and we want, if we find it, we're going to give it to you, man. The scripture said, prove all things.
This is back in 2 Esdras 14 and 47. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge, and I did so.
You notice it said spring of, read that again.
It says, for in them is a spring of understanding.
Spring come from water. Go ahead.
The fountain of wisdom.
Fountain is water. Go ahead.
And the stream of knowledge.
And the stream of knowledge. Now, what's that in John? I believe it's John 7:38, if I'm not mistaken.
This book of St. John, chapter 7, verse 38. It says, he that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
And we're giving you rivers of living water. All right? So anyway, with that, we're going to close, and we'll see you on the next round. Shalom.